Hard times for superheroes, superheroines. The superheroes have become so numerous and so prepared that all the criminals are hiding away or locked up in high-security prisons, and there is no new danger on the horizon. It is time for you to look for a second job to be able to best continue using your powers. Therefore, you find out that an employment agency is looking for a telepath. To do this, a test is organized, a type of game among you all to understand how much you are able to read other people's minds. So, what do we need to start the test? It's simple. 30 character cards, 40 profession cards, 30 skills cards, 48 object cards, 30 experience cards, 24 choice cards, choice board, 64 tokens, and the rulebook. It's all set now. To get started, place the choice board with 4 boxes A, B, C, D at the center of the table. Shuffle the various decks of cards separately and put them face down. Place score tokens in the center of the table. Each player receives 4 choice cards of the same color. Each player receives a character card face down, which they will place in front of them without looking at it. Put the remaining character cards back into the box. And lastly, each player receives 4 profession cards face down. It's time to choose a profession. To do so, each player looks at its own profession cards, chooses one of them, without telling the other players, and puts it back with the other 3 cards in front of him or herself. At the end of the game, the other players must guess which profession each of the other players has chosen. Now, each player reveals the character card they received at the beginning of the game, making it visible to them and to the other players. Now we have to give a clue. Here's how. Each player receives 4 object cards. They then choose one of them by reflecting on the 2 cards they have, a public one, the character card, and a secret one, the profession card, and place it face up in front of them next to their character card to give a clue to the other players. The other object cards are discarded and reshuffled in the deck of cards. The youngest player will have the first turn. The current player must choose a card that represents the profession of his/her character, and the others must try to guess which card it is. Note that, at any time it is possible to exchange score tokens with other equivalents. How does the game run? The game is played in multiple rounds. In each round, each one of the players, starting from the first one and then proceeding clockwise, will have a turn. Let's see more clearly how each round works in 5 steps. Step 1. 4 cards are turned over on the choice board in the middle of the table, an object one in the first round, skill in the second, and experience in the third. Step 2. All players will simultaneously choose a card by using one of their 4 choice cards that they will place face down in front of them. To choose a card, the current player must choose the card on the choice board by reflecting on the cards he/she has. The other players will try to guess the card the player has chosen. Step 3. When all the players have made their choice, the choice cards are revealed. The players obtain 1 point if they guess the card chosen by the current player, or if they have played the card chosen by most of the players. The player of the turn does not count for the purposes of counting for the majority. In the event of a tie, only the players who guess the card take points. The current player obtains 1 point for each player who has guessed his/her chosen card. Step 4. When all the points have been given, the current player puts the object card in front of him/her so it becomes visible to all the players. The other 3 object cards in the middle of the table are discarded. Step 5. The turn passes on to the player on the left and the round is repeated from step 1. At the end of the 3 rounds, each player has 4 cards in front of him/her. The last round now takes place. The current player shuffles the profession cards that he/she received at the beginning of the game and places them face up on the choice board in the middle of the table. The other players will simultaneously choose one of their 4 choice cards to guess the card that was chosen by the current player at the beginning of the game, based on the cards the current player has turned over in front of him/her. The current player will play the choice card that corresponds to the profession he/she chose at the beginning of the game. The choice cards of all the players are revealed. The players other than the current player obtain 3 points if they guess the profession card chosen by the current player. The current player obtains 3 points for each other player who has guessed his/her profession card. In this round, no points are given for having chosen the most chosen card by the players. It's time to declare the winner. The player with the most points is the winner of the game and is employed as a telepath. In case of a tie, there will be more than one winner. Happy game! Oh, and remember, you are always free to choose.